Want to represent the Geocache Talk network while you're out caching? Head over to artedcrafted.com and grab your official GTN shirts. Authentic apparel by geocachers for geocachers. They're comfortable, great looking, and perfect for events, trails, or your next big find. And the best part? Every purchase off our link helps support the Geocache Talk network and everything we do. Check them out now at artedcrafted.com.
All right, howdy everybody. Pathfinder 33, Charles here tonight, joined by the better looking half over here, my illustrious co-host, Tom Electric Waterboy. And
who was a big winner with Simmels 123. We won this thing.
That's right. There was a land run mega event in Guthrie, Oklahoma this past weekend. And if you were down there, you saw that they had a plethora of geocaches defined, geo arts that were created. There were great talks that were given at the mega event and side events. And one of them was a puzzle off that Tom happened to win with Simmels 123. So congratulations, Tom.
Thank you. Looking forward to next year. Maybe I can stay the whole week.
That's right. So welcome to Geocache Talk, Puzzle Talk, the puzzle podcast hosted by the Geocache Talk Network. Glad to have y'all along for the ride. We're going to do something a little different tonight. We're going to show you how to create a typeable cipher using AI, and we're going to get into that. But first we got, wait, where's the little thingy at? Where's the little, there it is. We got some news first. All right, news. Bingo cards are here. If you are one of those individuals that enjoys the treasures, then the new one is out. It is a bingo card. You get a souvenir for a horizontal, and a blackout of your bingo card.
And a diagonal.
Oh, do you get one for a diagonal too?
Yep. Because I've got the vertical and diagonal. I don't have a horizontal yet.
I don't have any of them, but I'm slowly working my way. So you get them for every geocache type except for events and
adventures. No adventures.
Yeah, no adventure labs. Nobody cares about those anyway. And then they have to be 1 to 4.5. Is that correct?
1 to 4.
1 to 4. 1 to 4 on the difficulty terrain, and at least one favorite point.
One favorite.
And if it meets all those criteria, then you get a square on your bingo card. So that's here. So if you're participating in all of that hoopla, get out and find some geocaches.
I've got 8 more to go.
8 more to go. I'm not even going to look. I got more than 8. It is officially August. Today is August the 4th. Welcome to August for everybody, which means that International Geocaching Day is right around the corner. August 14th through the 16th is International Geocaching Day. Collect a geocache or an adventure lab stage or and get a souvenir.
Probably attend an event.
Yeah. Attend an event. And then it is also during the entire month of August, from August 1st to August 31st, you can get a International Geocaching Day hider souvenir for hiding a geocache as long as it gets published before August 31st. So know that is out there. Some chances for you to get a souvenir are out there. Let's see. Oh, and Tom, you talk about this last one, and I will pull up the website for it.
You pull up the website. So I think it's been what 2 or 3 years now. TXGA has done the Texas Geocache Association has done a CETO across Texas thing, and it started out, I guess, that way this year. But as was announced on the Sunday show, now they're taking it worldwide. So there are worldwide events. I don't know how many events outside of Texas there are just yet, but there are a few. So if you think you might want to have a CETO on I believe, is it the 19th, September 19th?
Yes, it is right here.
Consider attaching it to this event and make this thing huge, and because I'm sure this is going to catch on more in the coming years. This is, I guess, their first stab at it. It was last minute, so
Yep. So the goal is 25 events in Texas, 50 plus events in other U.S. states, 13 plus events in Canada. They're hoping for one in every province/territory, and then 50 events in other countries. So, if you're thinking about it, go over to cetoacrosstheworld.org. And check this out and see if this is something that maybe y'all would be interested in. They do have a bookmark list of all of the events that started, but here's the rules, or everything that you need to know is on the website. So go to the website. We will add the website to the stuff here for our live viewers in the chat room. There you go. So cetoacrosstheworld.org. So go check that out. If it sounds like something that you'd like to be a part of, consider scheduling a CETO event and sending a GC code to these guys. They'll add it to the bookmark list and whatnot. Let's keep our game board clean.
When I looked earlier today, there wasn't one in Louisiana, so I started the ball rolling there, asking Homa first, because I'm friends with her it's Andra at the convention center there. See if she's going to do something, and then if there's not enough people in that area, then I might just say, heck with it. We'll do one in Baton Rouge, and that's a 6-hour drive from here, and I need to go that way anyway, so.
There's a geocacher that's very active in the East Texas geocaching web page or Facebook group. Daryl, what's his geocaching name? Del Bear. Anyhow, he's in Louisiana. Him and his wife, they both geocache. They may be somebody to.
DJ Pizza.
No. His is Del Bear something. I'll get it to you at the end of this. You can reach out to him. All right, so that's it for news. There we go. Yes, it does just randomly daub. There's no rhyme or reason. You could go caching with 4 other people, and you'll all find the same geocache and get 4 different blobs on your bingo cards. So there you go.
Yeah, I've got, let's see if I got 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I got 17 daubs, and only one of them's an N.
Yeah. So there you go. So that's it for the bingo cards, but it's good to see that people are, somebody's hosting one of these in Iowa. It looks like somebody is going to be hosting one in South Carolina. So get in on there. and host a CETO event. Be good to this, and whatnot. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how many souvenirs I have, but I have more than 250 because I just made a challenge cache, this last year for 250 souvenirs, and I shot that thing in the dark. So, all right, tools tonight. You will need Google Gemini. We're using Gemini tonight. I have not tried this with Chat GPT. I have not tried this with Copilot. I have not tried this with Claude. I have not tried this with any other AI out there except Google Gemini. So that's the one that we're going to use because I at least know that it works. And the last thing I like to do, there's Judy's got it. Daryl Austin. Yeah. I like to make sure that you guys, that's for the Louisiana, Tom, Daryl Austin. I like to at least make sure that y'all know what y'all are doing. And I built all of this. I kind of trekked through this and found it by accident and made it work. And so Tom is going to be learning along with the rest of y'all. I have one that I've already made. And then Tom sent me a cipher that he built that's not on Cache Sleuth. Neither of these ciphers that we're going to look at tonight are on the Cache Sleuth webpage just yet. I'm sure that Mr. Cache Sleuth will steal them and they will end up on his website at some level down the road. But for tonight's show, neither of these are on his website. My cipher that I'm using is a King Charles I cipher from 1645. That's how old my cipher is, and somehow Jason missed it. Go figure. So you'll need Google Gemini. You will need some type of cipher that is the key that has both the plain text and the ciphertext. And you will need some working knowledge of HTML and whatnot. So all of that being said, you're going to start with finding an image. Where's my image? So this is the, maybe not that big. There we go. Let me share my screen with you guys and I will show y'all that this is that right here. This is our cipher code that I pulled off of a website. This is the King Charles I stroke cipher. Again, it's from 1645. This is what we're working with. We want to recreate this so that you can type it on a web browser and it type in ciphertext what you're typing in plain text, right? So we're going to try and create something so that when you type, it types the ciphertext and whatnot. So I say that you need a somewhat working knowledge of HTML because AI, if you haven't figured it out, is not perfect. And so I know, as crazy as that is to say, it is not perfect and whatnot. So here is for those who want to. I found two web pages that both host the ciphertext that I am going to use tonight. One of them is on cryptania.web, and there is the web page for that. The other one is from a Toby's website that we have used in the past, and whatnot. If you have watched the show before, we had a little what was called the Red Boot Cipher. Back, I made a cipher and presented it and gave y'all a month to figure it out. Some of y'all figured it out really quick, but the Red Boot Cipher came from this Toby's .com website. It comes from the Flynn's weekly magazine. The Flynn's weekly magazine was a cryptography magazine that came out between 1928 and 1932, I believe. And they had a weekly magazine that came out and whatnot. So this is in a episode in one of the deals for the Flynn's weekly cryptography magazine. And so there's the website for it. Let me share my screen with you. Boom. Yes, this one. All right, so here's some of the history behind this cipher right here. But you can see 1645 is the date on it. This is the handwritten key that was written by King Charles I. So this right here is his key. It's not really well defined, and so I didn't use this for the AI image generator. Let's see. What I did use was the Toby's. Let me stop that screen and share this one. So this is from Flynn's weekly magazine from March 12th of 1927. So obviously it's a little older than what I said, because I said 29 to 32. So, but late 20s to early 30s in the US, they had a weekly cipher decoding magazine. And you come down here to the bottom, and here is your cipher text, cipher in plain text. This is what we're going to be creating. This is where you can find it. And so if you want to try to copy this image, crop it down in Paint or whatever your preferred method of image cropping is, I will show y'all how we're going to build this in Google Gemini. So there we go. Man, there we go. All right. So what you're going to need for Google Gemini, I'm going to post the text that you need in the chat room so that y'all can copy and paste it into Google Gemini, right? So this text right here is the prompt that you need to put in Google Gemini so that you can create a HTML cipher code. All right, so it says, look at this cipher from the image, write a single file HTML page containing CSS and JavaScript that lets a user type a message and encode it using the exact cipher, this exact cipher, right? And so let's go to Google Gemini. Share. So there's our Google Gemini. And we want to, in the prompt here, paste this, right? So look at this cipher from the image, write a single file HTML page containing CSS and JavaScript that lets a user type and encode it using this exact cipher. And then we got to give it a cipher to look at. So now we're going to take our image and drop our image in there, right? Everybody following along? Clear as mud? Questions, Tom?
No, I'm following you.
All right. Questions from the chat room? We'll give it a second. And so once you get this all put into Google Gemini, you just push the little submit button, the little arrow up in the bottom right-hand corner. It'll do its thing and kind of analyze it.
There was a time I could tell you what CSS stood for, but I don't remember. But that's the stuff that tells it how to look, right? And then
Yes.
the JavaScript is a code that's actually doing all the calculating and ciphering and all that other good crap.
Okay, so yes. So here is your stroke cipher encoder. Here is all of your HTML that's here in this black box. And as you scroll down and look at this, you'll see where it gives you a letter for A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, right? Each line down the deal. Now, I will tell you that I have put this into Google Gemini, the exact same prompt, the exact same image, and gotten vastly wild HTML out of Google Gemini, right? So just know that what you may get in here, if you ran this a second time, may give you something completely different, because what I got was completely different from this. However, we're going to copy this and see how well it does. This is why you have to have some familiarity with Google Gemini, or not Google Gemini, with A. You may have to go in and make some changes. And in order for you to make changes, you need to know what you're looking at. So we're going to take all of this. We're going to highlight it.
No, I don't.
All the way down.
I don't have to know
What do you
any
mean,
of
no,
that.
you don't?
I don't. I have my consultant sitting in the next room. I just send it to her and tell her, fix it.
Yes, that works as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to copy this, and then you're going to open.
Yeah, this is where I'm confused. What do you do next? What are you opening besides the beer?
Hang on. No, not yet. All right, let me stop that screen. Let me just share the entire screen and hope it doesn't crash on me. Boop. All right, so here is our HTML code that we copied in the background. And next we want to open up Notepad if you're on a Windows machine. If you're on a Windows machine, open up Notepad, right? If you're on a fancy Apple computer, I don't know what to tell you because I don't own.
I do. Best Buy is right down the street. Go buy a real computer.
That's right. This is the only Apple thing that I own. And so, so Notepad, whatever Apple's version of Notepad is, you want to take this and copy all of your HTML that you copied in there. And then you want to file, save as, and we're going to leave it as doc type. And we're going to go .html. You need to change this to all files instead of a text document. Change it to all files. And then when you save it as a .html at the end, right, then it will save as an HTML file. So we're going to save that. Right. And so now this is saved. Let me find where I saved it at. Aha, it's in my downloads folder. Let me open my downloads folder.
So then when you run it from there, it's going to open up a browser and run it like it's looking at the web, even though it's not.
Correct.
Okay.
So when you take this, here's our doc type that we saved. When you double click on it, it's going to open in a Chrome browser. Or if you
whatever
prefer,
your default is.
Whatever your default is. My default is Chrome, and so it's going to open in Chrome. But if you're an Edge user, it's going to open in that. If you're still using Netscape, it's going to open in that. If you're using Internet Explorer, it's going to open in that. Right. So whatever browser you are using, it will default open in that browser. So this is what we ended up with right here. So this is our ciphertext that it did, and here's the alphabet that it created. So when you look at this, you can see. I guess I need to preface in this ciphertext particularly, I and J are the same letter, and V and U are the same letter, right? So there's no individual I and individual J. Those are both the same letter. So when you look at, let me see if I can make this screen slightly larger for y'all and scroll down here. This is what AI created. So you have A, B, C, D. But if you look at I and you look at J, they look the same. Now, if you look at this and you look at J and you look right above it at A, they also look the same. This is why I said you have to have some understanding of HTML, because now you have to go in and either fix A or fix I and J, right? Also, when you look down here at U and V, they both look the same because they're the same letter. But if you come over here and look at Y, it also looks the same. And so in this, there are some things that you have to go in and maybe maneuver. In this, if you look at M and G, they look very similar. They look very similar. Even though they're not, they look very similar. And so in this, you've got to understand that AI is not perfect. You could even run this prompt again through Google Gemini, and it may or may not give you the correct ciphertext. So what I'm going to show you.
Well, hold on. Questions.
Oh, questions. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, like you said, you didn't have a J or a U, so it's automatically still going to make a 26-letter alphabet, right?
Yes, this did, because I and J when it recognized that the ciphertext only had an I. So let me bring this back up. When you look at this, it's HI. There's no J. Right?
No J and no U. Yeah.
No J and no U. And so it is going to assign I is the same as J, and V and U are the same, right? So it is going to automatically do that. This is giving you a 24-letter alphabet. That's just this one, though. So the one that Tom sent us that we looked at are going to be slightly different. Now, in that, some people have started to say that X and Z look the same, Judy, right?
No, they're similar, but they're not the same.
Well, when you look at they're similar looking enough that when you look at the original alphabet, X and Z are vastly different, right? So what we need to do with this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the HTML that I got from Google Gemini that I went in and tweaked, right? So let's close this. We're going to close this. We're going to close that. We're going to leave that up because it doesn't matter. So here is the there's that one. That's the strokes test that I had. And let's see, I want to edit this in Notepad. That makes a second one here. We want to, oh, where did I go? And of course, it's going to make it where it doesn't want to. There we go. And then we're going to go here. So this stroke that's over here on the right was the original HTML that I got from Google Gemini. And when you scroll down and look, here is what it's giving you for A, B, C, D, right? And so when you look at this, this is the original HTML that it gave me, and you go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and encode the text. So A, B, but C and D are the exact same, right? And then G is the same as these two, and right. And so when I went into this, right, we know that C and D right here were the same. Now I've gone in and changed these and whatnot, but what I wanted to show y'all was that let's see, and was it A, B, C, D, and G, right? So some of these were close enough to being the same. So if you look at G here and you look at D, it starts at 8 mid y minus 4, and here you have 10 mid y minus 4, right? And so there's not a vast difference between those. And then you have here 18 mid y minus 14, and on G you have 20 mid y minus 14. So they're super close and whatnot, but I didn't like them being that close. So I went in and changed them in this other version that I made that is called stroke test. And so that was the one, I copied the one into a test file and then manipulated all of the HTML in the, I had one file that was the original, and then I had one file that I manipulated so that I could test it, right? And so when you have, this is strokes test, and this is stroke, right? So if we pull this out, and we want to do that with it. So here is the stroke. This is the original Cipher that Google Gemini gave me. And then this is the one that I went in and messed with the HTML and changed it. And so A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and you encode it. And now you can see that the letters are all going to be different from what you got on this other web page, right?
Blow that up a bit, because your D and your G still look pretty darn similar.
Yeah. So what you can do in this is let's find the strokes test. we want to change G, right? And so if you change G to mid Y, let's just go mid Y 0, right? File, save, right? Because all of this is on your computer and it's not on the internet, you can simply reload. Let's copy this. You just reload it on your web page, on your desktop, Control V, encode the text, and now they look different.
Yeah, the G is attached to the line and the other one's got a space.
Correct.
Okay.
Right? So this on this top one, your mid Y minus 4 puts it 4 pixels above the line, right? I can't tell you why minus 4 moves it up, and a regular 4 moves it plus 4 moves it down. It just does, and whatnot. So where it that delineates where the line starts and where the line ends. So that's what your two lines are: your CTX move to, and then your CTX line to, right? Those give you your start and stop point. And so what your numbers are in the beginning and the end tell it where to start and where to end, and draw a line between the 2 points, right? Clear as mud.
And then I think that next line just draws the dash, right?
Yeah. So the next line draws the line across for all of them, right? Which is the same on all of them, right? All right. So when you go in and
then I'm going to jump ahead for you. I can see on I then, since you didn't want the I, you just deleted all the stuff. So there you still left the spot for an I, but there is no thing to define what an I looks like.
Right. There is no defining for I right here. So when you look at that, there is it. Let me see if I can blow this HTML up without doing too much. All right. So right here, you can see here's case I, and there's nothing here for it. And then case J. So what it did, what Google Gemini did, was instead of making the I and ignoring the J, it ignored the I and created the J for whatever reason, right? Because this is what we gave it to begin with. There is a I. There is no J, but the HTML file that it created for us did this, right? So when you compare A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H to A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H, right? Even H should be touching the line. So if we come in here and find H, and instead of it being, let's see, -4, we want it to be 0 so that it touches the line just like this H does. You go File, Save. Over here, we're going to copy this. We're going to reload the web page. We're going to put that and encode the text. And now it touches just like the line does here, right? So this is where you kind of have to know some HTML and how, and because Gemini makes it different every time, you kind of have to go in and you may have to play with it a little bit to figure out what does this and what does that. And when you come in here, when you go to open this, the icon on the desktop shows your web page. And so here, let's do this.
Well, before you, okay.
Go ahead.
Well, bring the thing back up. I I'm not a coder. I understand some code stuff. I mean, coding makes sense to me because I used to program a little bit. So I understand what this is doing in the sense that I know it's just drawing a line. It's saying pick a point here, pick a point there, draw a line in between it, and then it's drawing that stroke. So to edit yours is pretty darn simple, except for the J looks weird because all of a sudden the code changed to
It does. It has so I'll tell you. So it's the math.pi times 2. It does that for the dots. So you'll see that if we go up here and look at A right here, A is that same thing with a math.pi times 2. And that's how it is creating the single dot, because it's making a circle. It's making a circle of pixels. And so that's where that's where your pi is coming in from.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's my only explanation for it, is that pi is the mathematical formula that you have to do for circles. And so I'm assuming that in this, it's telling you that it is doing a circle, plus 10. And so if you come down here and look at I, or in this case, J, it's doing it at minus 10. And the plus 10 puts it above the line or below the line, and the minus 10 puts it above the line, because A is below the line and I/J is above the line, right?
And the next few things have probably got to do with like radius and whatnot. And
yeah.
Whatever.
So
I can see for a code like what you have, that if you have even basic HTML skills, you can figure it out and you can edit this thing.
Yeah.
But when you get to what I gave you,
we're going to see how. I haven't even played with yours yet. So we're going to see.
And I tried to keep mine simple, but I added 2 grammar things. So that's going to be interesting to see what it does.
You did. So let's stop this screen. Let's add, and let me show you entire screen over here, share. So this is where I have the files that we're going to play with. This is my text, Cipher text, and this is Tom's. But this is what shows up when you save your file. It saves as a little icon with the Google thing in it. And for you to get to where I'm editing it in Notepad, if you right click on it and then you come down to the bottom where it says edit in Notepad, then it brings it up in Notepad what we're doing on the other screen, right? So this is how you get in and edit it. You click the edit in Notepad, and then it opened in Notepad, but it opened on a different screen. So let me stop that screen and get back to this screen over here. All right, so these are our 2. This is the original that it sent. Here's the test. And I've done all of this manipulation in the test one. So then when you open one of these, let's just do this. Yoink. Right, so this is the test. And when you get in here and you go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and in code, all of these look very much like our image that we want, right? So boop, boop, boop. We'll put this right here. So A is a dot, B is a little dash underneath, then C, D, E, F, G, and H, right? Those all look fairly close to what the original Cipher picture is. So H-I, there is no J, K-L-M-N-O-P. Encode. When we look back at our image, oh, we had a Q in here too. Q, encode. Look at our picture. And so you look at I is a dot above the line. I is a dot above the line. And then K is a line. L, M, N is a floating line. O is touching the line. P and Q. Those all look relatively the same. Yay or nay, Tom?
Yep.
All right. And then RST. There is no U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Encode the text. Let's look at our image. So these should look pretty close. R, S, T, V, W, X, Y, Z, right? So all of them all look about the what we would expect from the image that we gave AI to create, right? So we had to go in and correct a few of these. I will tell you that in the test one that I created, both V and Y were both above the line. And so they look the same. And so I went in and edited the one and made it from -10 to +10. That moved it below the line. And then you have this. And so now I've created an HTML code that I can type, and it will give me the encoded ciphertext that's pretty close to the image that we gave Google Gemini, right? So now we can go in here and type the cache is at north 35, right? And whatnot. It doesn't matter if you give it spaces or not. Well, I guess it does. And so it'll give you spaces automatically here, but you could just make it just run on. The problem with this that I have found is that there's no way for you to, I'm clicking and dragging. There's no way, like I can highlight this, but I can't highlight the encoded text, this. And so what you'll have to do is once you write out what you want and you have created it, you have to take a screenshot of it and then upload it into your cache page as an image, right? And I know a lot of people hate that because they can't copy and paste it and try to put it into Cache Sleuth's solver to try see if Cache Sleuth recognizes it. But this one's not on Cache Sleuth anyway, so, you know, which is why we did this. Also, it doesn't matter for this whether you go capital letters or lowercase letters, right? An A is an A, a B is a B, a C is a C. So in this capitalization, because we didn't give it differences in capital and lowercase letters, it does everything the same. So AI spit out exactly what we gave it and exactly what we asked it to give us, right? And it gave it to us in this. So in this now that we have gone through this, if you would like, I will do this for our viewers. If you email me email us at puzzletalkpodcast@gmail.com, right? Let's see, where is it at? Right here. So if you send me an email asking for the HTML, I will give you this HTML that I built, right? And so then you can make your own King Charles I Cipher If you would like, then you just have to take a snippet of the encoded output that it gives you and save it as an image and upload it to your cache page. And then you have a ciphertext page that you have built, and a cache that you have hidden. And if you do it before the end of August, then you'll get the hider souvenir for International Geocaching Day.
And only those who watch the show will know how to solve it.
That's right. If you're local to me, you may see something like this pop up in the near future. I
say that you could treat it as a substitution cipher and still do it, but
you can, and that's what next month's show is going to be about. We're going to teach you, we're going to give you some tools that show you how to solve a substitution cipher, which is basically what this is. They're very simple substitution ciphers. Sometimes they're very complex to make, but we're teaching you how to make one with HTML and then whatnot. And next month, we will show people how to solve substitution ciphers with a few online tools. So,
well, as you're getting ready to go to mine, know that you didn't tell me anything other than make an alphabet. So I almost did some things that it may not have liked. So I was thinking for like double, making it just a 25-letter alphabet in a sense. And so that instead of having a W, you would use a doubler thing and either use the U or the V. Which brings me to my stupid question for the night. Why is W look like two V's instead of two U's? That's my answer too.
So this question came up in what else was I looking at? It was on a university building. Somebody brought it up. It was on a Facebook discussion, and we talked about how the U in university was a V. And I don't remember where it was, but there is a reason why, and I found it, and
it's got to be with typeset that was used way back when, is my guess.
Yeah, and so, but I found something about it because who was it? Was it Cashier's Tutu? I think it was Cashier's Tutu had said something about it on his page, and I was like, oh, well, this. And he was like, yeah, I don't like that answer. I was like, well, I mean, I get it. But that was the university's answer.
Well, I was going to have a symbol for doubling letters. So like if you had bookkeeper, it would be B, the doubling symbol O, the double symbol K, the double symbol E, the double symbol P.
Right.
I can't even say it. And then ER. But I didn't do that. So. And you didn't say anything about grammar. So I went ahead and added a period and a question mark. And I thought, well, if I had more space, I would have put, upper and lower case.
0 through 9.
Yeah. But I just gave you what I got.
All right. So this is the one that Tom created for us. They're all individual letters. They're all different. And so we're going to plug this into AI real quick live and see what it produces for us and how accurate it is. And that is, then you then have to try and decipher the triangles and the square and the circle and what is where in the HTML code. And so we'll see. So let me get a Google Gemini page back open.
While you're doing that, I will tell everybody I did all that you saw there in print. So I just had it make symbols, and I'd put symbol on top of symbol and whatnot. And then once I had the original stuff made, like the A through F, well then B no, yeah, B through F. The next 5 letters is just B through F turns rotated 90 degrees, and then the next 5 are rotated 90, and the next 5 rotated 90, and then start all over putting a dot in the center. So did not take that long to create.
Okay, so let me. I got to go in and pull open my. I accidentally closed my entire thing that had all of my show notes and everything. All right, so let me copy this. And then we're going to drag this over here. All right, so here's our Google Gemini. We're going to give it that same font, that same prompt, right? And then we're going to give it Tom's Cipher, and we're going to submit it. And we're going to let Google Gemini think. It's looking at our image. It's trying to figure it out. It's trying to figure out how to HTML it.
It's going, what is this crap?
It is.
It does need a catchier name. I did not come up with a good name.
It's funny because I just saved it as Tom.
I don't have a name for it.
All right, so now that it has given us text, we're going to copy all of this.
I've got to imagine mine's quite a bit longer than.
There's all of our HTML. We're going to copy.
That didn't seem much longer, huh?
We're going to open Notepad, right? We're going to close that. We don't want that notepad. We want a blank notepad. It apparently doesn't want to open me a blank notepad, so we're going to take all of this. And delete it. Sure. We're going to paste all of Tom's.
Be sure to save as a different name.
We're going to file, save as, and we're going to go Tom. We got to change this to all files, and then this is going to be .html, right? We're going to save it. So now we have tom.html. Let me open up my downloads folder because that's where it put it. I think that's where it put it. Oh, no, it saved it to my desktop somewhere. Okay. Let's just Tom Chrome HTML document. All right, so here's our geometric cipher encoder. That's what Gemini called it. And so type your message below. Case insensitive. Valid characters are A through Z, space, a dot, and a question mark. Invalid characters will be ignored. So there you go, Tom. Well, so now we want to go, let's see, where.
I'll just type the alphabet. I'm so curious now.
A through I. So let's go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H.
Oh, not even close.
Oh, and see, yours doesn't give you the the encoder deal like mine did, right? All right, so not close at all. So there may be some limitations to this.
Blow it up. What did it really give? The encoder screen, because encoded message is really hard to see. So it looked like it. Oh, it almost tried.
Right. So that's supposed to be. Yeah. So it's having some issues with whatever your box is. And it's having issues putting the triangles on the outside of the circle in different directions.
I wonder if they were spaced out more.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that it worked for my stroke cipher fairly easily. We just have to play with it and see if we could figure out with this what does the triangles and the squares and whatnot. And I may play with it some more here to see if there's a way to get the triangles on the outside of the circles versus keeping them on the inside of the circle. Let's look at this. Let's see if we did. I'm curious to see if W, X, Y, Z. Oh, it did put a dot in there. Right?
Yeah.
So your W, X, Y, Z all had a dot in there. It did get that down.
Do the question mark. I wonder how messed up the question mark could be because it's got 2 dots.
Oh, well, it gave it 2 dots.
Put them side by side instead of one on top of the other because it didn't have enough room. But
yeah, because it put the triangles. It's trying. So again, not a perfect system and whatnot. So, but it is possible to play with it and get it to do some stuff. Let's look at this. In your prompt, can you tell Gemini to add a button to be able to copy the encrypted text to the clipboard? That's possible. I hadn't thought about giving it that much because for me, I'm not going to copy and paste it to a clipboard. I'm going to put it as an image anyway, but it's possible. The question then becomes, is the clipboard going to recognize it? And when you copy and paste it to the geocaching page, the builder page, will it still recognize it, or will it try and change it? I would assume that it's possible. I haven't played with it, so let me do some playing with it, and we'll find out. Maybe we'll give an update at the very beginning of next month's show as to whether or not we could copy the encrypted text to a clipboard. That's a good thought process that I hadn't thought of. So
I saw that, and I would think you could tell AI to do it, and it wouldn't have any problem doing it. But I don't know. I mean, how would that be any different than just highlighting the text there and hitting Control C? And
yeah, except in none of these you can't highlight the encrypted text, but you can copy the plain text. You can't. It won't let you highlight. Like,
it won't let you highlight the output.
It won't let me highlight the output at all. Like, I'm clicking and dragging over it. Nothing. Now I can click and drag here because, see, it gives me a cursor. Down here, it gives me an arrow. There's no cursor to copy this HTML.
Oh, that sucks.
Well, it's not a perfect world. I just look. It's AI. It's still baby. We have to build it and make it bigger and better and more data centers to be able to compute it all.
Well, then you add a line that says, and make the encoded text copyable.
Yeah, and that's what he said. Can you add something so that you can copy the encrypted text to the clipboard?
Right. He's saying add a button. He's saying add a button to do it, and I'm saying highlight it and Control C. It's almost the same thing. But either way, I would think you just tell AI, this is what I want to do, and it should figure out a way to do it. And then Ray said,
well, hang on. Let's see what
Jim. Is there a limit to how many times you can run it? Well, I'm asking Ray's first because his has got leads into the next one. If you run it again, would you get a different answer? And how many times? And then that gets into Jim's things. How many times a day can you run it if you just using the free stuff?
So I have not found a limit with Gemini.
At least not yet.
Not yet. I sat here. I've done all of this several times with Gemini and have run this and had it create HTMLs, 7 or 8 times. And so I haven't come to a limit, but that doesn't mean there isn't one. Right. So this is what we're looking at. Does Gemini have a limit of actions per day like free Chat GPT? Not that I have seen, but and I ask Gemini all kinds of dumb stuff on the weekends when I'm sitting here trying to solve puzzles. So I don't know if Gemini has a limit of actions per day. I'll tell you that I'm not going to pay for AI, and so if you limit me, I'm going to find one that doesn't charge me.
Or you ask somebody who's got it, which isn't me, it's Cheryl, because she uses it for work for her database stuff. It writes scripts for her all the time.
Yeah,
and it's pretty good at doing that.
I could probably
also use it for her crochet stuff, and I will tell you that sometimes she argues with it on crochet stuff, and she wins the argument. So don't argue with my wife; she's going to win.
Now, this one, are there ciphers that have the space as an actual translated character? Yes. They're all over the place. You just got to find one. But there are tons of alphabets that have spaces as a translated character in the alphabet. And then let's look at this. You said every time you run the AI, you get a different text. So run it again. It might work. Very true, Ray. Very true. All right, let's.
That's why I was asking his first, because if there's a limit, then you're kind of hosed. But I know when ChatGPT first came out, I was asking to do all kind of things, and there wasn't any kind of limit. And then one day I said, "Hey, we'd like to have some money from you." And then I said, "Hey, it was nice knowing you."
Okay, let's see what it's given us. It's thinking.
Just thinking SOS, same old stuff.
All right, so it said the Cipher uses a base 4 directional system, up, right, down, left, plus center dots. All 28 symbols, A through Z, period and question mark, have been recalculated and accurately represented using native SVG elements. So,
Cheryl. What's an SVG element? What is an SVG element?
SVG. That's what we use to print for lasers. I don't know what it stands for.
Oh.
It's a
All right.
why.
I had the expert standing here and asked her what SVG element was. She didn't know right offhand.
All right, so now we're going to save this as the Tom1 file. Let's pull up Tom1. Oh, this actually looks like it worked. It came out and said, "Hello, world." So here's your alphabet.
Looky there. Looky there.
So, Ray.
And for just $29.95.95, you can use this too.
That's right. For free, Google will let you do this. And so if you would like Tom's also, send me an email. I will send you his HTML file for this as well. Let's look at these and make sure that all of your characters all look different.
Yeah, blow that up.
Hang on. It helps if I click on the right screen to blow up. All of a sudden, my StreamYard on the one side got huge.
A, B, C, D.
That looks pretty good, huh?
That's it.
There, and then it rotated 90, and L rotated 90, and Q rotated 90. All right, and so let's.
You couldn't put this in front of me and read it, but seeing it, with the alphabet below it, I can, and going through the alphabet, I can tell it's right because it repeats.
All right, so there we go.
A through U repeats again, starting at V with just putting a dot in a circle.
Mm-hmm.
Except from the question mark. I got lazy and thought, I don't want to go through a whole rotating it, whatever. So I just put 2 dots and decided to be done with it.
Oh, so here you go. Here's the limits factor in the complexity of your prompt, the models and features you use, and the length of your chat. Your limit refreshes every 5 hours until you reach your weekly limit of whatever that is. Right?
And did you change the prompt any to get this?
So let me show you the prompt that I gave it. What I told it up here at the beginning was basically I said this right here. So this HTML did not work. Can you look at the picture again and recalculate the HTML? That's exactly word for word what I gave it right here.
Wow. Okay.
All I said was your junk was bunk and recalculate.
Oh yeah, go back to the thing. The question mark.
Oh, it does have them rotated 90 degrees. They're side by side instead of up and down.
Yeah, I can live with that.
Yeah. There's no other thing in the so I'd be like that. I'd be good with that as well. But
because I just got lazy. What I really should have, if I was continuing with the thing, I would have rotated that 90 degrees.
Yeah. So yeah, look at this is my local cashier to me that watches the live podcast, and so I'm sure that I will see these in a puzzle cache coming out soon. All right, so yeah, if you send us an email,
I guess you'll open all the hate mail we're going to get.
right, to puzzletalkpodcast@gmail.com, and just asked to request the HTML, I will send you both HTML files, both for Tom's and for mine. You can do that. Oh, let's see. Can you? Oh, you can't copy it. And so I wonder if you, so if you don't give it any spaces, it doesn't, for whatever reason, this is breaking it down into little, see how it breaks it in the middle right here into different word bubbles. And so the cache is, right? And so if you just did it without any spaces, it just gives you a big block of text. Otherwise, see how every time you give it a space. And so by giving spaces in here, the way that this one is running the HTML, it creates little bubbles around the words. And so then people can start to look at the words and try and differentiate words. So on Tom's, if you just gave it as one
Keep scrolling down. Can you copy that?
No. It'll let you copy the regular letters underneath it, but not the cipher text. So we'll have to sit there and do up here what Jeremy suggested, and see if we put that. See if you can make it to where you can copy the encoded output to a clipboard. We'll try that later and whatnot, but we'll figure it out. Oh, let's look at this. So here you go. I use the paid version of ChatGPT, and the difference between that and the free version is like night and day. I think they put a whole bunch of limitations on the free version. I don't doubt that at all. I work for the federal government, and we have the federal government co-pilot at the office, and the outputs that the federal government's co-pilot gives are vastly different than what I get from ChatGPT or from Google Gemini. So I would never use the government's computer to try and solve puzzle caches while I was at work on the clock. And so I don't do that. But Copilot, the federal government's version of it is pretty swanky. Pretty swanky. There you go. SVG elements are XML tags used to build scalable vector graphics.
There's our 50-cent words for the night.
Scalable vector graphic, SVG. I would have never known that. Yes, SVG elements for the win. All right, and so I showed everybody what I did for the output. So if you would like either of these, hey, shoot them on over. We actually got Tom's to work tonight with zero warning or practice on this, thanks to some of y'all's suggestions from the chat room. So
Gary's gonna hate hearing this, but we didn't even do a pregame on this.
We didn't. I
we did the pregame on yours a little bit, so you could show me something, but we didn't touch mine at all.
We didn't. No, and we winged it, and I know Gary hates that because he's like, "There's no winging it. There's no winging it," and we wing this show a lot, and it ends up being fairly good, So that's that. I like both of these. If you would like both of these, send me an email. We'll get on there and I will send you both of these. No problem. No questions asked. I will send you both of the HTMLs along with the image files. So send a request in. I will get that to you. And then next month's show, we're going to teach you how to solve one of these simple substitution ciphers. There are a couple of programs on the interweb that are available to you. And so we're going to teach you how to decipher or how to crack the simple substitution ciphers, so that when you come across something like this and you can't find a key on Cache Sleuth, then there you have it. We'll show you how to build it. So thank you for everybody who has stuck around to the end of the show. If you've enjoyed it and you're watching on YouTube, hey, give us a thumbs up. We would appreciate that and whatnot. Because sometimes the bean counters, before they spill beans, look at how many times we get thumbs up. That's how me and Tom stay on the air, because
well, hopefully I don't get fired and kicked off the air for what I'm about to say, but me and you, we're better at winging it than Gary is, because at least we haven't landed on the side of a highway.
That's right. And that, folks, is a topic for another show. All right. We will get to y'all next month on how to solve a simple substitution cipher. Until then, get out there, get geocaching.
Get your treasures.
Get your treasures. And we'll see y'all next month. We'll check in and see how many of y'all got a blackout on your bingo card. All right. Good night, everybody.